I just wanted to do a short video about the ultrasound detector I told people about. It is the ultrasound that they are tracking you with, and this is how they pinpoint where the EMF goes. I can't do a live video of the app because the app uses the microphone and then you wouldn't be able to hear me. So I do know that from 19 to 22 is where the app shows the tracking, and it's actually two parts. There's one part that works from 19 to 20, and then another one that works from 21 to 22, and I think it's from 2 ops, because when I first began it was just 19 to 20, and then whenever they had another person helping them, it would interfere with the first person, and then it changed, the signal changed to where there was a 21 to 22. So they tuned it to where they wouldn't crosstalk, and both of the ops could use it. One was upstairs and one was downstairs sometimes, or they're both in the same room. But I just wanted to show you what this app does. It shows a spectrum, and you can tune it to a certain frequency, like to just look for the low range and the high range. The high range only goes so far, but if you listen, there's a dog barking in the background. And that dog does not stop barking all night, every night. It's a beagle, and they do have a better hearing than most. But like I said, nobody pays attention to me. Here's the app showing the spectrum. Kilohertz 19 to 22 is what you're looking for. These are some readings. Usually 4 a.m. till 7 a.m., 8 a.m. is where it's most active. Some of these will show your coordinates and where it's coming from. Some of these in the higher decibels are 46. Shows how long. This one's 48 decibels, and it lasted for 7.5 hours. It's weird that my house has no electricity and nothing on in my house because there is no electricity, and yet I still have ultrasound on me in my house, and it tells you what frequency and how long and what length. I've reported this to the FCC when my attacks first began, and like anybody else, nobody wants to investigate because they're the ones using it. You know, our government is using it against us, and nobody's going to come forward to save us. If they turn off your Google locations, this location will not show up. So they can take another phone just like yours, and with the EMF, they can clone your device. And they've been doing this for some time now. Sometimes they'll turn off my Google locations. Sometimes they'll turn my internet off. Sometimes they will restart my phone. They do whatever they want to do. Like I said, 7.5 hours from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That's 8 hours, 7.5 hours. From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And like I said, there's no electricity at my house. This was when I found out they could disable my security cameras with the device, and I'll be putting this with the video of them doing that. The other sections, all these are all different readings, different levels, different addresses, and different times. You can see the different levels. Some are 50 to 60, 70 decibels. Some almost 80 decibels. And they all have different addresses, so it's not like they don't pinpoint. It's not like they're not accurate. I mean, it shows from house to house on my block. So it's not that it's not correct. And that one's for Fredonia, New York. Like I said, this follows me everywhere. M Street, L Street, N Street, K Street. And I have to go investigate these locations because even my Google timeline will show my cell phone at these locations. So I know for a fact they have my phone cloned, and they're using it at these locations. I think the highest is around 90 decibels. And from my understanding, somewhere around 100 decibels it can tear skin, which is what happened at 4038 Northwest Osmond in Lawton, Oklahoma. I had a piece of skin, a tissue cut from my cranium, which drained out of my sinus. Two pieces of tissue fell through my nose, which prompted me to go to the emergency room, and I have that video coming out. I have so many videos that I want to share with you, particularly about my stalking and the people that are doing it. And one of the worst cases I've had, besides the upstairs apartment in Lawton, is in Walters. I was actually in custody at Walters Jail, and they had a person come into the cell next to me and use this on me from the adjacent cell. Now, I was placed on the side of the jail where long-term people stay, and I know for a fact because all I had was a traffic ticket and a failure to pay, but they put me on the long term, and they put someone in my cell. That one's pretty high, 80 decibels, and he was an Indian guy, and nothing actually happened between me and him, luckily, but they 78 decibels, but they came to the adjacent cell and used it on me, and pretty much tried to kill me from the cell next door. Now, I know when I was in there, I was placed in there with some police personnel, and particularly Sheriff Stradley's son. Now, he is a manufacturer in Walters, and he escaped his dad's sheriff's vehicle after he crashed it. So the Sheriff Stradley, Kenneth Stradley, wrecked his vehicle, allowed his son to escape. His son fled the police, had them chase him. He got onto a raft and floated across the river so they couldn't catch him. And he told me, he told me in person, because I was in the cell with him. He said that he had left the gate open, and he made an intention looking at me because he knew that I was being watched, and so that the other officers could go clean up his mess. Now, this is just information I'm privy to because I was in the cell with him. And I kind of think maybe some of my targeting is because I know what I know about Kenneth Stradley, and my attacks started in Judge Corrales' duplex. So I know this is a setup between Judge Corrales and Kenneth Stradley. I also had a roommate living with me that ended up having Judge Corrales' baby. So I think that she was placed in my house to try to get some type of evidence, and after no evidence was collected, I was put in this Section 8 housing and targeted because there was no arrest warranted. And then I was burnt in that apartment, so they could track me, because my V2K doesn't go away. And like I said, there's no data on that one. Some of these have GPS locations. I'll do another video about these locations and how Google Timeline will show these locations and the location of my cloned device. Like I said, these are just different readings, no particular order. I'm going to do other videos on the other apps for sound and tracking and identifying hidden devices and EMF sources. Here is another app I'll go over about the sound pressure level. Down there at the bottom is when they had some device on, and where it got clear without all the fuzzy lines is where they turned it off. So on the top of the bottom waterfall is the clear recording, and the bottom is where they had an extra device turned on. And I'll go over that application on another video. But it does increase the sound pressure in the room when they have these EMF devices on. And that's going to conclude this video. And I thank you for listening, and stay safe out there.